Hello and welcome back to Vox Terra. Last show, we looked at the aspect of the Green New Deal related to farmers, the Green New Deal for the farmers. And we talked about the subsidies and what Bernie Sanders calls socialism for the rich, and how most of these farm subsidies are going towards a certain small percentage of the wealthier farmers. I think it was like 10% of them out of the billions annually. I want to build on that, and I want you to know that I'm referencing, and I'll provide these links for you below the video. I'm referencing the Natural Resource Defense Council, an environmental working group, U.S. Department of Agriculture, as well as Bernie Sanders' .com website related to the Green New Deal. So not just are we subsidizing agriculture in the billions, not just are most of those subsidies going to the very top farmers or top agribusinesses, but according to the Environmental Working Group, they're also going towards largely towards export commodity crops, or what I'm calling export commodity crops like rice, corn, soy. And if you stop and think about it, this part I'm bringing to it, a lot of those crops are genetically modified. And what they're genetically modified for is they can take a heavy amount of pesticides and herbicides. So we don't just have socialism for the rich, as Bernie Sanders would say, quoting Martin Luther King, but we have socialism where we are subsidizing the poisoning of ourselves. We are subsidizing pumping our earth full of carcinogens and endocrine disruptors and neurotoxins by subsidizing, among many other ways, agriculture that's geared for export and laden with heavy pesticides and herbicides. So you've got those farm subsidies like crop insurance and the other farm subsidies, but there's also the trade deal. Think about the trade deals, right? Well, hey, China, you're going to buy, all these agricultural products from the U.S., products you could really grow easier at home, and they're going to be shipped to you over the oceans by burning lots of fossil fuels. So that's another way we taxpayers are subsidizing the polluting of our earth, the pumping it full of greenhouse gases and toxins and carcinogens. So keep that in mind when you're advocating for any environmental policy. When people try to hit you with, hey, that's big government and that's a subsidy, we can't afford it. Look, this economy is totally subsidized. I'm just highlighting for you a couple of the ways, but it's all under your noses. So Bernie Sanders' Green New Deal, the part for agriculture, calls for switching subsidies, is how I'm putting it, switching the subsidies to organic and regenerative farming and doing it for the small-scale farmers and average people, even right down to backyard gardeners. See, there's another giant subsidy right under our noses. That's that the price of the product doesn't include all the harm it causes. So when you go to the grocery store and you want to buy your organic produce and you're weighing it out, you're thinking, I want to support that organic farmer. I don't want to eat food laden with pesticides and herbicides, but boy, it's more expensive. Well, part of the reason it's more expensive isn't just because of those farm subsidies skewing towards the producers using those products, but it's also because the cost of those pesticides don't include the cancers, the nervous system disruptions. They don't include the cost of that, and they don't include the cost of the excess greenhouse gases. And they sure don't include the cost of the fact that soil sprayed with all these pesticides and herbicides is largely barren, and it's not sequestering carbon. So here the Green New Deal, and the Green New Deal did not invent this, but the Green New Deal calls for something called regenerative agriculture. So the soil can be used to actually sequester carbon, and the Green New Deal calls for helping pay farmers to do that, and that's really simple techniques. Those techniques include using cover crops. Those techniques include something called no-till farming, so you're not disrupting the soil, so the soil can heal and capture carbon like it did naturally. I also went to the U.S. Department of Agriculture to sort of check out some of this, carbon sequestration techniques farmers can use, and it includes really simple, common sense stuff. You can really easily get a picture of this in your head. Basically, you can think of it as just replanting trees, reforesting adding shrubbery and bushes. All of these things are not just sequestering carbon for the people who imagine that somehow dumping billions of tons of carbon a year by the burning of fossil fuels. They imagine it can't change the atmosphere and it can't change the heat and temperature of our planet, which it kind of is. But even if they imagine that, none of them are imagining that all this burning of fossil fuels, all this use of pesticides is good for us. So by revegetating, reforesting, using crop covers, you're not just sequestering carbon again, but you're also filtering out other man-made pollutants that come from the burning of fossil fuels, the use of pesticides. But there's a window. There's a window here. And why it's really good, let's subsidize organic farming and regenerative farming now, rather than wait and see, is this climate change real? No, it's real. And even if it wasn't real, this stuff's all bad to breathe in, all this burning of fossil fuels, but it's real. Well, there's a window here. We've got a window. Why we shouldn't be waiting, why we should be listening to people calling for, some type of Green New Deal, okay? Because remember the earlier video I did about wildfires in Australia? Well, there I cited a NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Agency of the United States, and they're clearly saying worldwide wildfires are on the increase, and they're clearly saying it's because the Earth has gotten hotter, and that hotter Earth is retaining moisture and leading to more drought or flood-like conditions, drying out the forests, drying out the vegetation, making them more wildfire prone. So what's happening is, if we wait too long, we can keep on, hey, let's wake up and I'll plant a bunch of trees. Well, what's going to happen is those trees are going to become another source for carbon when they catch on fire. And those are called climate feedback loops. There's a lot of others I could share with you. So for now, I hope this helped. These are the main concepts I want to share with you today. The economy is subsidized. We're subsidizing, pumping our earth full of carcinogens and toxins like pesticides and herbicides. And we could be subsidizing a Green New Deal and greener agricultural techniques. And we've got a window to operate in here. Let's operate in that window. Hey, I hope this video helped. If it did, please share it. Please subscribe to my channel. If you found anything unhelpful about it, but you're a sincere person, please offer sincere, constructive criticism. I would love to hear that also. And I, of course, love getting supportive comments. And until next time, peace be with you.